Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nikram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Clear strategy and vision driving Guyana's investment growth. Loans to micro, small and medium businesses triple as banks support smarter, inclusive financing. Guyana upholds humanitarian values while strengthening border security amid rising Venezuelan migration. And family demands deeper investigation into the mysterious death of Berbice woman. Guyana's investment growth remains strong, supported by the government's implementable strategies, long-term vision, and focused development plans. This is according to the country's Chief Investment Officer and Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Office for Investment, Peter Ramsarup. In a conversation with financial analyst Joel Bagwandin on the television program Ignite Finance, Ramsarup noted that over the last 5 years, Guyana's investment strategy continues to yield positive results, spurred by the present government's investment momentum. In comparison, he explained that the previous administration lacked strategy, vision, and implementable plans, which he opined were key elements for investment. When asked how he sees Guyana as an investment destination over the last 5 years.
Fast forward to 2020, you're actually absolutely correct. We did inherit a stagnant economy. We actually inherit a backward economy. I mean, you mentioned, 200 plus taxes, and you can go on and on the list of draconian strategies that APNU government, and I see them in the campaign trail again, making some wild promises that doesn't make sense. It's not a coherent plan. What the PPP government did, and Dr. Ali, when he came into government, presented a measurable long-term strategy 2030 and beyond. And in the 5 years that he has been in office, he has put and implemented that measurable plan. So from an investment standpoint, backwards to 2020, an investor wanted to see first a country with good leadership, bold leadership, a country that had vision, strategy, the measurable plan, and understand what it takes to move a nation forward.
Additionally, Bagwandin said all sectors across Guyana have been doing extremely well over the last 5 years, which he noted has created the perfect environment for investment. He noted the prior economy had deteriorated, notably in non-oil sectors, added by significant job losses. Bagwandin added that there were unfriendly tax measures in place and policies which prohibited the expansion of private sector investment, with stagnated growth in terms of credit. Sectors such as mining were also underperforming, Bagwandin said.
Coming to 2020, the outcome of those events were compounded when you had the election fiasco and further compounded with the COVID-19 pandemic where the country was practically shut down. So that was the place from where this current administration, where you hold a very important and key portfolio, came in and would have had to rebuild. Now, when I looked at the numbers, all the indicators are markedly improve or significantly improve. Credit to the private sector, for example, has doubled. We've seen investment, both domestic and private investment, increasing exponentially. We've seen the economy expanding at from a $800 billion economy to a nearly $5 trillion economy today. The non-oil economy alone is about $1.6 trillion in G dollars term.
He added that job creation from his estimation would have exceeded 70,000 over the last 5 years. Ignite Finance is broadcast here on Channel 6 every Tuesday. Tune in to catch the rest of the conversation. Businesses in Region 3 have come together to transform the region into an economic powerhouse and embrace networking to achieve this goal. On Monday, over 200 persons representing businesses as well as supporting agencies met at an event hosted by the Essequibo Islands West Demerara Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Region 3. The event was designed to help them capitalize on upcoming business opportunities, Secretary and Public Relations Officer Tion Allen told Ignite News.
There were business people from all sectors. There were artists in the room, there were pastry providers, there were persons who specialize in desserts. You have construction companies of every type. It was essentially all the businesses in Region 3, regardless of size, showing up.
Allen said the Chamber is keen on ensuring that Region 3 businesses are part of the massive growth the country is experiencing, as the body is already making moves to access low-hanging opportunities, particularly those being provided by the government.
In the social space, we're having a collaboration. The Chamber of Commerce is going to have a collaboration with the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, which should be launched next month. We're already in the planning stages to provide training to businesses in the region so that they can prepare themselves to really bid for projects and really qualify themselves for opportunities in procurement.
In agriculture, the Chamber is already working to solve some of the problems facing the sector so it can take advantage of regional and global opportunities. Opportunities including cocoa farming initiative, introduced by the Dominican Republic, and the potential of Grace Kennedy food scanning and packaging produce here. The Chamber's goal is to ensure that Region 3 benefits from such opportunities by making sure businesses are at a level where they can truly participate and provide the necessary standard of service. Noting the theme of the event, From Farm Belt to Economic Powerhouse, President Dr. Irfan Ali in his keynote address said that Region 3, with a strategic position between the city and major ports such as Essequibo, and key projects such as the Gas to Energy Initiative coming on board, is positioned to become the industrial capital of Guyana.
Region 3 is no longer a quiet, rural backwater area. It is emerging as one of the most dynamic and promising regions in Guyana, with expanding infrastructure, flourishing commercial services, and top-tier entertainment venues. The region is already being transformed before our eyes. It is a critical hub for the movement of people, produce, and services.
Under the People's Progressive Party government, President Ali said more assistance and opportunities will be lent to the development of the region. There's promising news for small businesses in Guyana. Lending to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, has more than tripled over the past 5 years. That's according to financial leaders speaking at the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry's third business breakfast seminar held at the Marriott Hotel. The event, supported by the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry, focused on financing strategies in Guyana's rapidly growing economy. Over 120 entrepreneurs attended the event. During the seminar, Chair of the Guyana Association of Bankers, Inc., Nafisa Gafour, pushed back on the notion that banks are overly cautious, saying they're simply risk-conscious, aiming to manage financial risk responsibly. She explained that lending decisions are based on 5 key factors: capacity, character, collateral capital, and compliance, and stressed that banks are open to helping MSEs strengthen their proposals. On the issue of foreign exchange, Gafour said banks are prioritizing productive sectors and investing in improved digital systems in partnership with the Bank of Guyana. Chamber President Cathy Smith said the seminar was designed to equip local businesses to better tap into local content opportunities, pointing out that more than $743 million was spent on local content in 2023. Private sector credit also grew from $376 billion in 2023 to over $450 billion in 2024. With access to financing improving across the country, especially for small businesses, the path ahead looks more promising than ever.
The ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League is back, and it's bigger than ever. Defending champions, Rangpur Riders, return to defend their crown. But the Warriors, the proud hosts, are ready to battle on home soil. The best from Australia, New Zealand, and the UAE join the fight for global glory. The ultimate test, the ultimate prize. It's the clash of the T20 champions. Get your tickets now at Warriors Box Office or GSLT20.com.
Welcome back. A major roadway that promises to transform airport access is nearly complete. The new highway linking the East Bank to the Chetty Jagan International Airport is now in its third and final phase. The project, which began in 2021, is being executed in phases. Phase 1, Sheriff to Mandela to Eccles, is complete. So is Phase 2, which stretches from Eccles to Great Diamond and onward to Craig. Now, Phase 3 is underway, taking the roadway all the way to the airport. Senior engineer at the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Anthony Rocknott, says the development is progressing steadily.
So basically we are at the phase 3 leg right now, which is in Great Diamond to Craig area. So you'll find that the construction now in this zone is approximately 80% complete. And this, what is worthwhile to note, as this area used to be known as the backlands of Diamond. With the highway being constructed here, you'll find that is now the forefront of development. As you can see around, there are lands that are opened up throughout the highway, and the next leg of the highway, which we're connecting from Craig to Land of Canaan, that's also in progress, with the aim of linking to the airport ultimately.
The new highway is designed to ease congestion, reduce travel time, and connect rural and other communities to the airport more efficiently.
Each phase are being rolled out with the aim of linking to the airport, and also previously the East Bank corridor would have been only able to access through the East Bank main road, which is the road that you would have driven on to come from the airport. And now with the construction of this highway, it will be a parallel highway to that old East Bank road. And then it will be interconnected with the new Harbour Bridge access as well. The new Harbour Bridge access that will be linked to this highway. And ultimately would open up the residential lands as well as industrial commercial. So the development is vast once this road is constructed, and even during the construction, because as you can see, as we roll out the project in phases, the phases of development in the different areas is evident along the highway. So we're looking at presently is about 30 km of highway, and then once the Land of Canaan section is completed, the next phase will be rolled out to go to the airport.
The completion of the project will mark a significant step for commuters in terms of a more improved and convenient access to the airport. In a major step forward in improving education infrastructure, the Ministry of Education has turned the sod for the construction of the long-anticipated $2.6 billion Christiansburg-Wismar Secondary School in Linden. The current Christiansburg Multilateral School, built in 1975 to accommodate just 50 students, has been significantly stretched, now serving more than 700 students and over 100 teachers in a space designed for far fewer. This has led to overcrowding, congestion, and according to Principal Shalene Craigwell-Peters, chronic issues with service erosion and poor maintenance. During yesterday's sod turning, Education Minister Pragmanik Chan said the new school is a result of sustained community consultations and will be built to house up to 1,000 students.
We already have 107 teachers here. Of the 107 teachers, 26 are in college and 2 are upgrading, so 28 are in college, the rest are trained. 384 teachers were trained in Region 10 in the last 4 years.
Delivering the feature address, Prime Minister Mark Phillips, himself a former student, said the facility will serve students beyond the west bank of the Demerara, reaching as far as Mackenzie, Kokwani, and Ituni.
I'm a proud former student of Christiansburg-Wismar Secondary School, known as Multi. These grounds have shaped me, just as they've shaped thousands of past and current students, and we will continue to shape generations to come. That is why this project holds a deep personal significance for me. When I stood before you prior to 2020, as I mentioned earlier, that promise was made. Today, I return with my ministerial colleagues and government officials to deliver on that promise, to turn the sod and fulfill that promise with a modern, world-class school.
The new school promises not only modern infrastructure, but also safer, more comfortable learning environment, one that's equipped to meet the growing demands of Region 10's student population. With national elections on the horizon, the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, has taken another step forward in its preparations. Yesterday, GECOM chairperson Justice Retired Claudette Singh administered oaths of office to 10 returning officers and 10 supernumerary returning officers at a simple ceremony held in the Commission's boardroom. These officials will play critical roles on Election Day. Returning officers will oversee the electoral process in each district, while the supernumerary officers will support operations in sub-districts within Regions 3, 4, and 6, as outlined in the Representation of the People Act. GECOM is encouraging political parties and voters to visit the offices in their districts for updates on electoral process and key statutory deadlines. A full list of appointed officers and their office locations is now available on GCOM's website at gcom.org.gy. In its release, GCOM reaffirmed its commitment to transparency, professionalism, and integrity throughout the elections. Still ahead, how police are being trained to protect democracy, and a troubling case out of Berbice that's raising serious questions.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Thanks for staying with us. First, a look at how law enforcement is stepping up ahead of elections. Today, police officers attached to the traffic department have completed a critical training session focused on election offenses and preparedness, with a strong emphasis on ethical conduct and democratic responsibility. The session held at the Officers Training Center in Ivleri is part of broader national efforts to bolster law enforcement readiness during the electoral cycle. It was led by Superintendent of Police and Attorney at Law, Delon Fraser, who guided officers through the legal framework governing elections, including the Representation of the People Act and the National Assembly Validity of Elections Act. One of the most crucial segments of the training focused on general principles that must guide police conduct during elections. Fraser reminded officers that their role extends beyond enforcement. They are also guardians of democratic values and citizens' rights. As such, they were instructed to uphold a strict code of ethics throughout the electoral period. Despite ongoing border and security challenges, Guyana continues to welcome thousands of Venezuelan migrants, balancing compassion with firm control, especially in vulnerable border regions. This was affirmed by Brigadier Omar Khan, Chief of Defense Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, during a live appearance on the program Safeguarding Our Nation earlier today.
In the execution of my duties and my visits to border communities, I have personally witnessed Venezuelan migrants and the embarrassment, the shame, the almost loss of dignity of families, women, children, babies, fathers seeking refuge in a foreign land. But we could ask, why are they fleeing? What is the reason? And I would tell you, Guyana are receiving thousands of Venezuelan migrants. But countries like Colombia and Brazil, they are in the millions. It tells about the political and socio-economic conditions in Venezuela. This is disheartening.
Brigadier Khan said the country is using a multi-agency approach to manage migration and security issues, and Guyana's humanitarian response is not new, but a continuation of long-standing values.
But while Guyana is approaching this with compassion, we are committed to safe borders, in the protection of our borders. And that is why we have implemented strong security measures on vetting, processing, documenting all Venezuelan migrants. And this is another example in which not only the Guyana Defense Force is involved, but as a multi-agency approach. The Guyana Police Force, the Ministry of Health, the local government authorities, the regional authorities, everyone is on board whenever we have an interception of Venezuelan migrants, and we will continue to do so. On the defense side, this humanitarian gesture is not uncommon, not unprecedented to us. The Guyana Defense Force has been involved as part of its role to conduct humanitarian and disaster relief operations. And what do I mean by this? Just last year, in an extra-regional way, we supported Grenada post-hurricane burial in reconstructing houses and rebuilding lives. And we are currently in St. Vincent doing the same thing.
The Chief of Staff said the Guyana Defense Force has contributed and participated in over 200 rebuilding projects, including police stations and family homes. As he noted that the humanitarian side of the organization forms part of its efforts to contribute to national development. A Berbice family is calling for justice following the mysterious death of 22-year-old Stacy Walton. Walton's body was found in a partially submerged car in a canal along the No. 7 Public Road, Region 6, last Saturday. Police say the deceased had reportedly been drinking earlier in the night and she lost control of her vehicle, veered off the road, and ended up in a canal. She was found unconscious but still strapped in with her seatbelt. Though she was rushed to the New Amsterdam Hospital, she was pronounced dead on arrival. However, her grieving parents are now questioning the official version of events, saying there's more to their daughter's death than just an accident.
I would like to have justice for my daughter because to what I see, there is not just drowning. Because the girl have a lot of marks on her body. They're not just drowning alone. It's heart-rending right now to know that my daughter have to die like this.
According to Walton, if she was speeding, the damage would have been different and the car did not even go underwater. She could have survived until help came, the mother said. She related earlier she was told that Stacy's boyfriend attempted to rescue her from the car, but now the family is hearing that it was a public-spirited citizen and not him. Stacy's parent also revealed that she and her boyfriend had an argument earlier that night. Her father, after viewing the body post-mortem, shared disturbing details.
When they finish the thing, I go back and I take a look at Stacy, and I see by on Stacy there was bruises on Stacy's back. You see those bruises on Stacy's back on her side. It looked like she had a puncture on someone's side. You could see a fine hole there with some blood spot. It's a puncture. And also on your hand, you could see it swell up on your face. You could see it got marks of violence. The water in the lungs, yes, is drowning. You rule drowning, but many things happen before drowning. You could be hit and fall. Somebody could strangle you until 99%, and the 1% you're helpless, you can't do nothing. Whatsoever the water come in your mouth and your nose, you got to take it because you can't help yourself. So I just don't want to hear drowning. They have many more things surrounding it because this is not drowning.
The family is pleading with investigators to look deeper into the case. In positive news, Guyana has a new Queen of Culture. On Saturday night, Shadiman Asana was crowned Miss Guyana Culture Queen 2025 at the National Culture Center, rising above a competitive field of 7 finalists. The Melanie Damishana native, a dancer since age 3, and alumna of the National School of Dance, impressed judges with her authenticity, stage presence, and passion for Guyanese culture.
Being crowned Miss Guyana Culture Queen is truly an honor, a dream come true, and it means so much to me. It is a symbol of the hard work and the passion that I've poured into this journey. And just like any other pageant journey, the road leading up to this moment was filled with challenges, it was filled with growth and self-discovery. But through it all, I persevered, and I'm grateful for every step that would have brought me here. Representing Guyana on the Caribbean stage is a responsibility I carry with pride, especially because I am determined to continue the legacy that Shamina Perun and Shaquana Huda has left. To me, this platform is more than just a crown, it's more than just a title, it's a voice that I plan to use to inspire and uplift young women across the country. I want to show them that no dream is too big and that one of the most powerful things in life is embracing who you are and embracing your culture, and that with discipline and purpose, you can reach higher heights in life.
Asana will now represent Guyana on the regional stage at the Miss Caribbean Culture Queen pageant in St. Kitts later this year, as she aims to continue the country's impressive winning streak, following back-to-back victories in 2023 and 2024. Arena Williams and Destiny Etienne were named first and second runner-ups respectively, after strong showings in categories like dance, fashion, storytelling, and craft. Each finalist celebrated traditional narratives that reflected Guyana's rich cultural heritage. Coming up next, the latest on June Madness, an economic boost for Barbados, and a warning from the U.S. President to Israel. We wrap up tonight with some sport, regional and international stories, starting with an electrifying finish to the June Madness quarterfinals. In sports, the race to the June Madness futsal title is heating up, with 4 teams now through to the semifinals after a thrilling quarterfinal round. Back Circle A dominated Z-Tech in Game 3 with a convincing 5-1 win. During the game, Chris Macy struck twice, while Stephen McLean, Robin Naughton, and Simeon Moore also found the back of the net. The Road Warriors edged out Ben Street B in a nail-biting 4-3 finish. Matheus de Souza led the charge with 2 goals, including a penalty. Sparta Balls also booked their semi-final spot after a tight 4-3 victory over Northeast. Curtis Kellman netted a brace, supported by goals from Kelsey Benjamin and Ryan Hackett. And Gold is Money cruised past Bomb Squad 4-1, with William Europe scoring twice and Randolph Wagner adding another. Bomb Squad's lone goal came from Kemar Beckford in the 17th minute. The semi-final matchups are now locked in. Sparta Balls will face Back Circle A, while Road Warriors go up against Gold is Money. Ben Duckett delivered a sensational innings of 149 to lead England to a stunning victory over India on the final day of the first test at Headingley. Chasing a daunting target of 371, England achieved their second highest successful run chase in Test history, just behind the 378-run pursuit against India in 2022. Duckett's commanding knock now sits alongside legendary Headingley performances by Ian Botham, Mark Butcher, Shea Hope, and Ben Stokes. He put on a strong 188-run opening partnership with Zach Crawley, who scored a solid 65. Both batsmen survived key chances. Crawley was dropped on 42, Duckett on 97. The match shifted when Duckett and Harry Brook fell on consecutive balls to Shardul Thakur, leaving England at 253 for 4 and needing 118 more runs. Joe Root and Ben Stokes added a vital 49 runs, though Stokes was dismissed trying a risky reverse sweep of Ravindra Jadeja. With 69 runs still needed, Jamie Smith joined Root and showed great composure as the pair calmly guided England home. Root finished unbeaten on 53, while Smith contributed 44, helping England reach their target with 14 overs to spare, scoring at 4.55 runs per over. Regionally, Barbados has received a major vote of confidence from the International Monetary Fund. The IMF has completed final reviews of its Extended Fund Facility, EFF, and Resilience and Sustainability Facility, RSF, arrangements with the island, unlocking $58 million in new disbursements, $19 million under the EFF and $39 million under the RSF. Since the start of the programs, Barbados has received a total of $116 million under the EFF and $193 million under the RSF. The IMF has praised the government's strong implementation of its homegrown economic recovery and transformation, known as BERT 2022, credited with stabilizing the economy and strengthening resilience. Barbados' economy grew by an estimated 4% last year, led by tourism, construction, and business services. Inflation eased to just 1.4%, and foreign reserves climbed to $1.6 billion, enough to cover over 7 months of imports. The IMF says reforms have helped to cut the current account deficit and protect the country's exchange rate peg. In international news, U.S. President Donald Trump is sharply rebuking Israel for bombing a target near Tehran, just hours after agreeing to a ceasefire deal with Iran. Trump announced a truce at around 5 a.m. GMT and criticized both sides for early violations, but his strongest words were reserved for Washington's close ally. He urged Israel to calm down now, calling its airstrikes excessive. Trump said Israel called up for the attacks at his urging in order to preserve the fragile deal and avoid broader escalation. But that didn't stop at least one strike. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office confirmed that Israel bombed a radar site near Tehran, claiming it was retaliation for Iranian missiles allegedly fired 3.5 hours after the truce was supposed to begin. Reuters reports that 2 loud blasts were heard in Tehran after Trump's remarks, though Israel has not confirmed whether the strike happened before or after the call with the U.S. president. Iran denies launching any missiles and says Israeli attacks continued for 90 minutes after the ceasefire was meant to take effect. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has since said Tehran will uphold the truce unless Israel violates it and signal a willingness to return to negotiations. The Gates Foundation is pledging $1.6 billion over the next 5 years to Gavi, the global vaccine alliance that helps provide life-saving shots to the world's poorest children. Foundation Chair Bill Gates says the number of child deaths worldwide could rise this year due to massive cuts to foreign aid, that supporting Gavi is the single most powerful step to stop it. Gavi partners with governments to fund vaccines against deadly diseases like measles and diphtheria. Tomorrow, the event, co-hosted by the European Union and the Gates Foundation in Brussels, Gavi hopes to raise $9 billion for its 2026 to 2030 campaign. The alliance warns that if U.S. funding, around $300 million a year, is withdrawn, a signal under the Trump administration, it could lead to 1.2 million more deaths over 5 years. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you tomorrow for more Ignite News.